Get ready to raise the dead. On this edition, we're resurrecting Bruiser, George Romero's overlooked exercise in personal redemption, in which a man finds his face has been replaced by a featureless mask. It's a familiar falling down narrative in which a downtrodden everyman finally snaps and fights back. Bruiser follows Jason Flemyng as Henry Creedlow, an embodiment of the adage, nice guys finish last. He's verbally abused by his wife, mocked by his boss, and taken advantage of by his best friend. Yet Henry is reluctant to stand up for himself. He's a perpetual punching bag. His one true friend appears to be Rosie, his boss's wife. Rosie's going through a messy divorce, and there appears to be a mutual attraction between the two, but Henry's unwilling to do anything about it. That is until the night of a fateful company barbecue, when he's pushed too far. Following a rough day in which he's denied a platinum card because his friend's financial stewardship has been less than rewarding, Henry serves as a model for Rosie's mask project, in which he draws a blank while attempting to decorate his life cast. That's because he has no identity. He's virtually invisible. He then catches his wife Janine canoodling with his boss Milo. Instead of exhibiting regret, she calls Henry a nobody and leaves him to run off with Milo. So, Henry drinks himself to sleep. He wakes the next morning to discover that his face has been replaced by a blank, a white organic mask that he can't remove. Stripped of his good guy image, Henry finally makes himself visible, forcing people to see him for the first time. He starts by confronting his klepto maid, killing her with a fatal blow from her bag of stolen silver. Henry then trails Janine to Milo's boardroom at Bruiser magazine, where he catches the two having sex on the conference table. Rosie beats Henry to the punch by snapping a photo of the tryst for ammo in their divorce. When a pantsless Milo runs after her, Henry seizes the moment to send his cheating wife on a tethered flight from the upper story window. His violent attempt at reclaiming his honor has inadvertent consequences. Both Rosie and Henry's equally oppressed coworker Bertram are prime suspects for police investigator Detective McCleary. Meanwhile, Henry decides to settle his accounts with friend James. Henry discovered that he embezzled $30,000 from him, and so he has a heart-to-heart with his old buddy that results in a fatal gun battle. When Henry discovers that Rosie and Bertram are suspects, Henry calls into a radio show to take credit for his crimes and the upcoming coup de grace he has planned for Milo that night. At a Bruiser soiree with Rosie, the police, and punk band The Misfits in attendance, Henry arranges a fatal publicity stunt in which Milo is executed via high-intensity laser. Following Milo's death, Henry discovers that his face has returned. But before Detective McCleary can nab him, Rosie creates a diversion that allows Henry to escape. He resurfaces sometime later in another office with another demeaning boss. When the blowhard harasses Henry, he turns to reveal that his featureless mask has returned. More of a creative psychodrama on the nature of identity and personal worth in the modern world, Bruiser was marketed by the distributors as a horror film on the strength of Romero's reputation. As a matter of fact, Bruiser was Romero's last film outside his Dead series of zombie movies. Aside from Flemyng, Bruiser features a supporting performance by cult favorite Tom Atkins as McCleary. Peter Stormare excels as the boss from hell, and there's also a cameo by The Misfits, who provide 2 original songs for the film. As a result of its genre dysphoria and release on home video, Bruiser failed to recoup its budget and fell through the cinematic cracks for most Romero fans. Then it fell out of print entirely. Much like its protagonist, Bruiser has been virtually invisible to most moviegoers, which is a shame because its study on morality and identity politics is a thought-provoking experience, at least for those who are able to face it. Like these films? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for future episodes.